Hi, Sephora here. Today I'm talking with you about parentification and emotional incest. Both of these are traumatic for children. Emotional incest is a little bit trickier to recover from because it is on an emotional level, which is invisible, and it can also traumatize a child on the way that mimics actual incest. So parentification is when a child is put into the role of the caretaker and has to do the tasks that the parents should be doing. So this can be because the parents simply and straightforward ask the child to do the tasks. It can be because the child is forced into a providing position. And it can also be that the child doesn't even know that they're put into this providing position because of the pressure and how it's defaulting onto them. As well as if a parent just isn't doing the tasks, they aren't there to do any of the parenting, the child is then obliged to step into that role and take care of the household. There's two famous examples that do come to mind, and they're pretty current. Shia Labeouf was very much parentified, and he does speak out about this. You can find this probably on YouTube or anything like that. And he talks about how difficult it was for him. His childhood financial success was used to support his family and even support his dad in living in his garage at certain points. So he does speak about how he struggled with it, how he coped with it all, and how he recovered from it. Part of his recovery was journaling, and this journaling turned into the movie that he made called Honey Boy. Now, another example is Britney Spears. So this has turned into the Free Britney movement, and she, ever since her teenage, her young years, she has been very successful, and her family has been leeching off of this success. And now it has gotten to such an abusive point that she needs to be freed from her captors. Now, emotional incest is anything to do with emotional support or connection that should be between two adults that is now going to the child. So this can be anything from stress about bills to issues in relationships, even expressing romantic and sexual desires. And the child is forced into a role of providing support and validation to their parent, which is extremely unhealthy. So basically anything with an emotional level that has a weight on it that should be going to an adult and not the child. Both parentification and emotional incest affect people many ways. So the entire time the child is being emotionally neglected because either the parent is putting them into the role of caretaker or the parent is unloading their emotions onto the child when it should be the other way around. This role reversal is so difficult for a child to take, and it can turn people into people pleasers or creating the need or want to rescue people, boundary issues, self-neglect, or even feeling guilty for putting the self first or taking care of the self. It promotes dysfunctional relationships because it is teaching the child an unhealthy way to be in a relationship. They learn that resentment and this pressure is normal in a relationship. So they feel resentment and anger in relationships because what happened is the child needed the emotional support and validation when they were a child, and they did not receive this. So it went the other way around, and it blurs how things should be. So this can lead to dysfunctional relationships. And when a child is forced to learn this dysfunctional way, there's no balance or healthy emotional boundaries. It can create them to not know how to be in a functioning relationship. It can be very difficult to heal from these things, but it is possible. So in the healing, you'll learn emotional literacy, emotional skills, and boundaries, as well as regaining your sense of self and reframing the situation so you have self-compassion and learning how to heal the loss of your childhood, to mourn the loss of yourself, the loss of your childhood, and regain yourself through the healing process.